Arr. Welcome to Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
And I'm Jeremy Dooley.
Gloom, doom, other hyperbolic words. I think it's hyperbolic or hyperbola if you're Ryan, I guess. For years, entertainment executives have been using their gold-plated thesauruses or thesauri? I don't actually...
dinosaurs are like just dinosauri.
Okay, makes sense to predict the end of your favorite industries. No thanks to those pesky content pillagers known as pirates.
Yeah, if these executives are to be believed, pirates sail right into their Italian villas in the night and steal everything.
Because all the executives live in Italy.
Yeah, you know,
for reasons.
In the villas. Eventually, this piracy will lead to the demise of entertainment as we know it. Once there's no money left to make terrible new sequels that you never asked for, and a few of you did ask for them.
We're judging you.
Yep.
But with gaming, TV, and the film industries all hitting record numbers this year, we're starting to wonder if maybe this is really the case after all. Zooming in on the film industry, sites like Tector and Torrent Freak, among others, are posing the argument that this year's box office numbers prove that piracy simply isn't having the terrible effect on your local movie theater those big bad studio execs would have you think. According to RentTrack, a media measurement research firm, the domestic box office achieved an all-time high of more than $11 billion in revenue in 2015. That's a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
And it's up 9% from 2014. Or 2014. I'm really bad at keeping that consistent. Yeah. Worldwide, that total came out to $38 billion, another record for the movie industry.
Yeah, so while some might be quick to pin that revenue on the rising price of tickets at the box office, that's not exactly the case either. Ticket sale data shows a 6.2% rise in the number of tickets sold in 2015. 1.35 billion overall tickets compared to 1.27 billion tickets in 2014. So rising ticket prices have made some impact, but only account for about 3% of the total gains.
I guess would they not skip? They didn't skip leg day.
Those gains. Interestingly enough, a chart of ticket sales from 1995 to now shows that hard ticket sales did peak around 2002-2003. And have seen a bit of a decline, but mostly they've held fairly consistent.
So, in spite of studios, publishers, and anyone big enough to wear a wig claiming that piracy will ultimately destroy all that you love and hold dear, namely themselves, we see that if you make content people really want, they're gonna pay for it. Really, all you have to do is look at Star Wars and Jurassic World as proof that people still do love going to the movies for the right flick.
In search of their latest straw man, a lot of industry types are arguing that the early pirated release of Hateful Eight may have hurt Quentin Tarantino's new film at the box office.
Really? That's the reason?
Yeah, that's the only reason why, but in reality, its 3-hour runtime, complete with an intermission, means there were fewer showings and screens that could actually play it.
Although it was only one version that had the intermission. I didn't get
really?
the intermission.
I
went to
would
the
demand
normal
an
one.
Intermission. Plus, launching against the biggest movie of all time, not to mention that in terms of critical reception, this one has taken a hit compared to some of Tarantino's other films.
It's a good movie, but it's no Kill Bill for me. For proof, look no further than The Revenant, which also leaked online early. The early leak certainly didn't hurt that film, which pulled in $39 million in the domestic box office last week, placing it just behind The Force Awakens at $41 million.
Ooh,
I guess it's a
pretty
good,
close.
Well, good bear tax enough to get people to a theater, right?
Yeah, and speaking of bears,
get Leo an Oscar.
I got nothing. This next point actually has nothing to do with bears, but that would have been awesome. That would have been the best segue in history.
It would have been a great segue, but it's not. It just sucks instead.
But
so
how
let's
about
continue.
PC gaming? That's another industry that's been said to have.
That's a bear of an industry.
Yeah, people have said it's in danger for years, but it had an enormous year in 2015. Not only did Steam alone see a conservatively estimated $3.5 billion in revenue last year, which doesn't even include DLC or free-to-play transactions, that supposedly make up 70% of all PC revenue.
Impressive.
Across all platforms and payment methods, it's estimated that PC gaming pulled in a total of $27 billion worldwide. That's almost double the estimated amounts for 2012.
So where with all that damage pirates are causing? Where is it? Years ago, industry experts shouted to the rooftops that PC gaming was a dying market thanks to pirates. For a time, it seemed like PC gamers were doomed to half-ass ports and restrictive DRMs. Well, they still get the half-ass ports, but for a while there, it was a doom thing. While publishers shifted focus to consoles, but that's not the case anymore. In fact, industry researcher PwC is expecting PC games revenue to overtake console revenue by the end of 2016 with $29 billion in sales. And thanks to PC gaming's growth in places like China and India, that gap is only expected to widen once they take the lead.
Gabe Newell, a lot of people just freaked out. I mentioned him.
Who?
He's the head honcho of Valve.
No,
he's
not
long
ringing a bell.
shared. Yeah, who's that? He's long shared the belief that piracy isn't a price problem, but it's a service problem. People don't pirate because they're cold and heartless and want to hurt a particular industry. Rather, they just do what's more convenient.
And they're lazy.
Exactly. That's their main reason, just laziness.
We're all lazy.
And judging by Steam's most recent winter sale, which saw 46 million total game sales and huge jumps in revenue, perhaps Steam's just got it all figured out.
They have something figured out for sure.
They do pretty
well. And really, that's where PC gaming in particular has shined compared to some of the other older institutions. I mean, rather than continue to rely on broad, harmful DRM or go on active campaigns against their own customer base, the PC industry shifted in access and focus. Many PC games are playable across a number of devices and inputs now, ranging from tablets to a high-end rig or even your TV. And even though it's got a ways to go, publishers and services are working together to make PC gaming a better place overall. Everyone holds hands and doesn't pirate things.
It's not just on your PC anymore. It's just everywhere.
Everywhere. Steam Link, yo.
See, but stuff like that's a huge contrast to the music industry, which started suing its own customers when faced with the paradigm shift. Or the movie industry, who tried to shame you by asking, would you steal a car?
I would download a car.
Yeah, I wouldn't steal it. It might be a bait car. You gotta be careful. In a rather delicious bit of irony, the music used in that infamous ad was actually done so without permission by the artist. And he ended up taking the ad makers to court for a whole lot of euros.
That's a beautiful, beautiful story.
Well done.
This has been a problem for a number of older entertainment institutions, which have simply refused to revise their delivery models in the face of impending change. While both the home video and TV industries tried to take their ball and go home over the last decade, Netflix picked up both balls, gave them a nice little tickle, and then ran away with them completely.
That was the worst way you could have phrased it. Thank you.
First, they changed home video, and now they're changing TV altogether by creating unique content that begs for a subscription. In short, they did exactly what Newell talked about and figured out how to address the service problem, and people are paying.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Netflix isn't worried about piracy either. Just a few days ago, CEO Reed Hastings said Netflix loves when users share accounts with one another because more viewers ultimately leads to more subscribers. The same reason public libraries have never been a threat to Amazon.
Unfortunately, public libraries aren't a threat to anything right now.
You say that. They're going to strike one day. I have public library insurance.
You're just lying in wait.
And now, Netflix is valued at $45 billion. So, suck it, everyone else.
The same mentality has also powered HBO to changing its business model, breaking away from traditional cable packages to offer a direct-to-consumer model in the form of HBO Go and HBO Now. Game of Thrones is easily the most pirated show online, with an estimated 14.4 million BitTorrent downloads compared to the show's weekly 8 million viewers.
Wow, that's a shame. But HBO has never viewed this as a bad thing. CEO Jeff Bewkes said back in 2013 that HBO has literally been dealing with piracy for 20 to 30 years. Pirates been around a long time, people.
Since they got boats, yeah.
That's why they're in history books. People running wires to their neighbors is really no different than people downloading online. It's harder to do in mass, but it's the same principle. And it always helps subscriptions. They're totally in favor of anything that leads to more penetration.
Yeah,
that's what he said. He said that.
He says penetration. HBO loves penetration. Penetration. Media companies like HBO and Netflix are also picking up on the middle film market that Hollywood has all but abandoned, opting in favor of franchises and enormous blockbusters to try to get more butts in those seats. This is actually the same problem faced by huge AAA console makers, swelling budgets that require huge home run hits for every single release.
Now, music, that isn't doing quite as well in the shift to digital.
Maybe it has something to do with all of the industry execs suing their customers.
Yeah, that's probably not the best way to go about it. That industry was down to $15 billion from its 1999 high of $38 billion. But 2015 was also the first time that streaming services eclipsed CD sales, so things are changing.
That's just happening now. That's crazy.
That's kind of amazing to me. I understand buying CDs, kind of, but apparently a lot of people still do it, along with vinyl. Those two account for 24% of
Come
all
on,
music
you
revenue.
guys. Vinyl? I know it sounds better, but you just get it because it's old school. Admit it. Streaming is the only thing really keeping that industry from completely falling apart, and now accounts for a third of all music revenue. So once again, we're seeing the new paradigm, along with download services like iTunes and Amazon, emerging from the chaos of piracy and providing something ultimately better for customers. Streaming isn't a perfect solution because of how it shortchanges mid-level and independent artists, but that's a conversation that's starting to shift in those models as well. And really, that burden's not on the consumer to figure out.
So does piracy really affect these huge industries anymore? The short answer does seem to point to no, with a few caveats.
Well, not that
Yeah.
people would be spending money if they couldn't pirate stuff. They just wouldn't get any stuff.
Exactly. They're lazy. That's what we're saying. Time and time again, it's been shown that the right content delivered in the right way is what it takes for people to spend their money. Make it convenient.
Right, or just make it all Star Wars and dinosaurs, apparently. If
That'll
everything's
work.
Star Wars dinosaurs, everybody wins. It's gonna get boring real fast.
Dinosaurs in
But in the
space.
meantime, dinosaurs in space.
A velociraptor in a TIE fighter.
We've solved the entire movie industry problem.
Perfect. What do you guys think? Does piracy have as big of an impact as some would like you to believe? Would you download a car?
The answer is yes, of course you will.
I mean,
To
probably.
get all the latest news on piracy and penetration, like this video and subscribe to the know.
Yeah.
I don't know, how old are you?
We used to play our penny whistle. I don't know.
I guess that's something from my era.
24 now, I think.
You don't know?
I can't remember. I told my credit card company the wrong age the other day, so they didn't let me change something.
On this sync. Perfect.
I love slide whistles. It's the best.
Is that what they are?
Yeah, the little.
What's the difference between a slide whistle and a penny whistle?
I don't. What's a penny whistle? I don't even know what that is.
I don't know. That's something that I don't know.